and ramen noodles. Nice. But don't forget to bring that Stage 2 car here. Hello, Lauterbach man talking to you from high above the 7 bays at Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. Before you send your student down the road, bring that car in for a Stage 2 checkup from Lauterbach. For just $25, we'll examine that car and give you a detailed report on what has to happen and when. Then you know you're sending your student off to college in a safe car, filled with books, your big box TV, and Cheese Whiz. Call 546-2600 and set a time for Stage 2 service. Available now at Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. Lauterbach man here. Drive safely now.
There are many reasons to buy a Verlo mattress. We've narrowed it down to the 8 great reasons to choose Verlo. Reason number 3, our free comfort adjustment. Most mattress retailers only give you 30 to 180 days to try their mattress. The problem with this is you may not fully adjust to your mattress in that amount of time. We offer you a free comfort adjustment during the first year of sleeping on your new mattress. So if you're not satisfied, we'll pick it up and change the feel for free. For a list of all 8 great reasons and our current sale, Google us or like us on Facebook.
When I commit to someone, I want them to commit back to me for, life. That's why I love Verlo mattress. When you buy a Verlo, you get something nobody else offers, a commitment to helping you love your sleep for as long as you own your mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee. Those other places, you get a measly 60, 90, maybe 120 nights. Not even close, guys. Wake up, sleep better. Verlo.
Here's what's happening right now at Green Certified West.
Not another goat dropping. Hey guys, another goat dropping.
A what?
The goats. They keep dropping the prices on all these quality pre-owned vehicles. Wasn't what I was expecting.
The goats are just doing what they do best, giving the Green Certified West customers their very best deals and amazing customer service.
These prices are too low. We have a business to run. Hey, you, goat, not another dropping on my lot.
Come see the Goat Squad at Green Certified West for your very best deal.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. There are 196 countries in the world, but which has the most powerful passport that gives you the most freedom to travel? That would be Singapore, with its citizens able to visit 192 destinations visa-free. In second place for the most powerful passport, a tie between Germany, Italy, and Spain. Those passports give their holders entry to 190 destinations. And having an Austrian, Finnish, French, South Korean, or Swedish passport gets you access to 189. And which are the most open countries? The ones open to all passports? Would you believe it's Cambodia? For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, designed for curious travelers. Viking offers all-inclusive voyages on all 7 continents, with no children and no casinos on board. Learn more at Viking.com.
If you're preparing your kids for school with an old computer, you might get a frantic call in the middle of the night when problems suddenly crop up. At BLH Computers, you can fill the backpack with laptops that carry the exclusive BLH guarantee. BLH Computers has a big supply available with school budget pricing in mind. So send them off to school and quit worrying with laptops, accessories, and upgrades from BLH Computers in Jacksonville, Taylorville, and Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Phi SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Our bill banning assault weapons is constitutional, and it is in force in the state of Illinois right now.
That's Governor J.B. Pritzker at the Illinois State Fair reacting to not just Friday's Illinois Supreme Court ruling upholding the state's gun and magazine ban, but he was also talking about the fact that Tom Devore's cases were dismissed in the county courts, and we'll obviously connect with Tom Devore coming up here in just moments, so stay tuned for that with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop, but something else happening yesterday in litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine ban, and that is the case that was brought brought by the National Shooting Sports Foundation, challenging the state's new law that allows for civil liability to ultimately be filed against the gun industry players, those who are either making firearms or selling firearms or advertising firearms. House Bill 218, it ultimately allows for the Attorney General to bring action or for any individual to bring action against those in the firearms industry and charge them for allegedly making the public less safe or charging that they're violating the law by advertising to children with cartoon characters or by advertising for paramilitary or militia activity that the state deems unlawful. So again, that measure was signed on Saturday, and on Monday, you had the National Shooting Sports Foundation file their lawsuit against the states over this particular bill that ultimately passed along party lines, and the Democratic supermajority getting that through. But on Monday, the National Shooting Sports Foundation sued. And then on Tuesday, you had an initial assignment to Judge Betty or Judge Beatty, and that was randomly assigned on Tuesday. But the latest here is you scroll all the way down into the docket, and you can see that the case was reassigned to Judge Stephen McGlynn. So Stephen McGlynn, the judge who said that the state's gun and magazine ban in the Southern District violated the Constitution or was likely to violate the Constitution and issued a preliminary injunction that only lasted 6 days. Well, Stephen McGlynn is going to be the judge on this case, challenging the state's law allowing for anyone to sue the gun manufacturers or firearms dealers or really anybody in the firearms space. So this is an interesting turn of events with Stephen McGlynn getting the case now in the Southern District of Illinois. What that means for the future of this particular law, it's a great question, and I think something that some of you can read into, given the fact that McGlynn is indeed the judge who said state's gun and magazine ban is likely unconstitutional, so we're going to let a preliminary injunction be put in place. So what we've seen now is several laws that the governor has signed. They deal with all kinds of things, right? A lot of focus has been on the Second Amendment, shall not be infringed. That's obviously a fundamental constitutional right that's being challenged in federal court when it comes to the gun and magazine ban. But First Amendment issues are also very much central to some of the governor's policies, and one of them being the ability for lawsuits to be filed against the firearms industry for advertising or for whatever, be it making the public less safe. But the advertising component really does hit on some First Amendment free speech issues. Others are arguing that it also likely could bump into free assembly issues when you talk about paramilitary or militia activity. So interesting to hear some of that in the conversation about this. But other free speech issues that the governor's policies have been challenged on include that measure that was blocked recently by a federal judge to allow the state to go after crisis pregnancy centers for, quote, deceptive practices if those crisis pregnancy centers do not have abortion as an option. If they steer people away from an abortion, then the law, before it was blocked with a preliminary injunction by a federal judge, it would have allowed for that to take place. So obviously you've got a lot of movement in the federal courts challenging Pritzker's policies, and we talked a little bit about the measure dealing with the gun and magazine ban and how it's still pending in the federal appeals courts. When they're going to release that opinion, who knows? But we did talk about how you've got the plaintiffs in that case pointing to the recent ruling from a federal judge out of Hawaii that said that the butterfly knife ban was unconstitutional. So the plaintiffs in the Seventh Circuit challenging Illinois' gun and magazine ban are asking the judges in that appeals panel to review that before they decide. So that's the latest in the Seventh Circuit. But again, in the Southern District, totally separate case about the gun industry liability law. Judge Stephen McGlynn has been issued to that. He's been the judge that's assigned to that after a random selection went to Judge Beatty. So Stephen McGlynn taking over that case. So those are some of the cases dealing with the federal courts, but we've also got the state courts. And we saw, of course, on Friday, the state Supreme Court uphold the state's gun and magazine ban. And that was from State Representative Dan Calkins. He brought that case after attorney Thomas Devore advanced his cases representing thousands of individuals and gun stores getting temporary restraining orders in place. So it was a little unclear as to exactly how Devore's cases would proceed, if they would proceed. And we got some indication this week as to how that would happen. And joining us right now is Tom Devore. Greatly appreciate you taking the time this morning, Tom. But let's get into it. What's the latest with your case, and what's going to happen with your plaintiffs moving forward? You've got thousands of plaintiffs on this case, and looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Yeah, good morning, Greg. We got the docket entry from the judge in the Effingham County Court. It was a little surprising, given that after the Supreme Court ruled that there wasn't a hearing set, but so be it. It happens in court all the time. It just usually doesn't happen when people hear about it, because it impacts, at least 7,000 people in this case, but millions of people across the state. So the, Judge Jarman dismissed our client's case, taking the position that the Calkins ruling was precedential, and finding that, I guess he was finding that under no set of facts could any citizen of this state proceed successfully on an equal protection claim, which is not remotely what the Illinois Supreme Court said. The Illinois Supreme Court ruling was clear, and it was clear based upon the concerns that I raised months ago when Dan Calkins filed this case, is that they had no record and no way to prove that they were in fact similarly situated to the exempt classes in the statute. So, that was a threshold issue that the Illinois Supreme Court said Dan couldn't satisfy because he didn't do any discovery, no record. But certainly, and again, I don't necessarily disagree with that particular, argument that the Supreme Court made. It doesn't say that equal protection doesn't lie as a violation, just says you didn't prove it. And so that's why our case was different, and we were proceeding with discovery, et cetera. And we do, in fact, already have evidence that shows that we can prove it. But, Judge Jarman, for whatever reason, didn't make that analysis. So we're going to file a motion to reconsider before we decide, or we're not going to decide. We will appeal to the Fifth Appellate District, absolutely. But before we appeal, we're going to at least put it back in front of Judge Jarman and say, you need to take a look at this. It's not what the Supreme Court said.
So yesterday, the governor was asked about the status of his gun and magazine ban, and this is some of what he had to say. Just paraphrasing before we hear the bite, he talked about this grifters out there trying to be able to pounce on the questions of constitutionality, and he ultimately proclaims that he believes his law is constitutional.
Our bill banning assault weapons is constitutional, and it is in force in the state of Illinois right now.
So, Tom, obviously, the governor standing by saying that he believes it's constitutional. Where is he wrong on this?
Where he's wrong is that there's never been a ruling by any court yet that says that this law is, in fact, constitutional. Governor Pritzker, with all due respect, is more of a politician than he is a lawyer. And if you even, I don't agree with much of what Mr. Calkins' lawyer has ever done on any of Dan's case. But one of the things that Jerry and I do agree on is the Supreme Court ruling didn't say that this law is absolutely under any set of facts or constitutional. It said that Dan failed to meet the burden. So the governor's wrong. He believes it's constitutional, and I'm not going to disrespect him for that. But no court, federal or state, has said with unequivocal conclusion this law is constitutional. And the judge or the governor, being a lawyer by license only, has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, and one thing that was clear just in the first few paragraphs of the Illinois Supreme Court's ruling was they didn't consider the Second Amendment arguments in this at all.
Nor did they consider the 3 readings rule, which I've been after hot and heavy. They said that actually Dan Calkins waived that argument, which is something that I was adamant that they should have never waived. And you had 2 justices on the Supreme Court that made it clear, I thought, Justice Overstreet and Justice White, that should have been the issue to carry the day, because, it's not even an argument they violated 3 readings. You know that, and I know that. I think the state knows that. But whether or not the Supreme Court's going to wade into that or not, I know 2 of them do. And the opinion in, Justice O'Brien's dissent probably was the most important writing in that whole opinion.
We're talking with Tom Devore, of course, the attorney who secured thousands of temporary restraining orders against Illinois' gun and magazine ban, but those have been dissolved. And he's going to be, of course, looking to have a motion filed to reconsider. And then ultimately, I imagine you're going to appeal to the appeals court in state court. Tom, even if you get up to the Supreme Court with this case, with the evidence that you've got backed up and whatnot, what do you do about the questions of conflict of interest? We've seen how 2 of the Supreme Court justices that when they were candidates received $1 million each from Governor J.B. Pritzker and 6 figures from House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch, who both are lead defendants in the case that at least Calkins brought. But what would you do with that question of conflict of interest? Would you pursue a recusal motion? Would you take it to the U.S. Supreme Court to challenge it on a Caperton challenge? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not going to do either, because, I understand the argument being made there, Greg, but the people of this state and this nation need to understand something, and I hope they're starting to see it. The judiciary is a political beast, just like the rest of the branches of government, because it has human beings in it. And the justices that receive those donations, they have political beliefs just like you and I, and they probably have political beliefs that align with the governor's. That's no different than the justices of the Supreme Court appointed by President Trump or President Obama. They lean a certain way in their beliefs. What that means from a lawyer's perspective, this is very important, because this is where Jerry Stocks and his team and Dan failed. What that means, Greg, is that when you go in front of those justices with a legal matter that in their core where they probably stand on it, you got to make such a compelling case that they'll change their mind. It happened with Justice O'Brien. Changed their mind for good legal reason, and that would have been the case, in my legal opinion, if the job would have been done to show that they're not, these exempt classes, many of them are not similarly situated or are similarly situated to the citizens. This training argument that they've made appeared for the first time, Greg, in a courtroom argued by a lawyer. It's nowhere in the record of the legislature. It's nowhere in an affidavit signed by anybody in the legislative branch of government. It was an argument made, and Justice O'Brien was right. If the purpose of this law is to bring these weapons down in numbers off the streets? Now, that's a tall proposition, whether this law would ever do it or not. Let's set that aside and assume that that is the legislative purpose. Get the guns off the streets. Then why do people that are trained get to continue to buy all they want? What does training have to do with reducing the numbers? Absolutely nothing. It's irrational. I know why it's irrational, but I'm not going to throw my fellow lawyers under the bus. But those arguments could have been made and laid bare in front of the Supreme Court with facts. And that's how you win this case at the Illinois Supreme Court, potentially. And that's why Calkins lost, because he didn't take any of those facts. And lawyers like me and good lawyers know that a court will do what they can to leave that law in place unless they have enough facts to make it go away and to say it's unconstitutional. That's why they lost, and that's what I would do differently. And I wouldn't even try to recuse those justices. I'm going to argue to them why they should think differently.
Attorney Thomas Devore with us. We've got just a few more minutes here, but kind of, I guess, some of the logistics of your clients. They, of course, 7,000 plus across several counties and several cases consolidated in Effingham County. Those TROs being dissolved this week as the case was dismissed. You plan on having a reconsideration motion and then ultimately appealing. So we'll see what happens there. But your clients, I mean, they had that TRO in place and they went out and purchased firearms. What's going to happen to those firearms and those individuals? The state police, at least during the injunction that was issued from the Southern District Federal Court, state police say any firearms purchased during the 6 days are not in compliance with the state law because they weren't possessed before January 10th. What happens with your TRO clients?
Well, wait, let me say this with all due respect to the Illinois State Police and to Brandon Kelly and the Attorney General and the governors, is it's political propaganda and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And let me tell you why, Greg, because you're probably the only one that would ever write about this. The proposition stands that as of January 10th, these weapons weren't possessed by these individuals. And due to a court order, which means the law, they were able to acquire them subsequent to January 10th. But then they lost that exempt status under the temporary restraining order, correct? Take somebody that's exempt under the statute. Let's say somebody in the military. And they buy one after January 10th. Under the statute, not under the court order. And then they retire from the military. They're no longer exempt under the statute. Are they also breaking the law? Because the registry requirement that the Illinois State Police and the AG, and they're all trying to talk about, that you can't complete that affidavit because you didn't own it before the 10th. Not only does it apply to my clients, it applies to every statutorily exempt person who becomes non-exempt after January 10th. This law doesn't deal with them either. So the fact of the matter is, whether you're exempt under the statute or whether you were for some amount of time exempt under the law, which is a court order, and they're co-equal branches of government, that TRO was just as in force and effect as the exemptions in the statute. All of those people are in the same boat because they crammed this law through in the middle of the night, and the registry doesn't deal with people who lawfully bought after the 10th, but then became non-exempt by some other operation. It doesn't deal with any of them, so I'm not even worried about that.
And that would be also for those during that 6-day window from the Southern District injunction?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, a court order, a restraining order, or the orders entered by these courts have the same legal authority as the exemptions in the statute. And so the statute doesn't deal with those folks, and I gave you an example, doesn't deal with my clients or the people under the federal registry. That's not going anywhere. That's just political fodder thrown around by people that are trying to scare individuals that don't even think it through with any level of analysis. And I challenge you to ask that question about someone exempt under the statute, and then they become non-exempt. Are they also breaking the law? See, watch them mumble over their words, Greg, when you ask that question.
Attorney Tom Devore, finally here, of course, we've got the political days that have been going on at the state fair. You ran for attorney general in the last cycle. What is your political future?
I'm not running for office again right now as I sit here. I don't have any desire. I'm equally, critical of Republicans as I am Democrats. But I am working on some things, and there are things that are focused on one goal, and that's how Republicans can win elections in the state of Illinois. It's not an easy conversation because you've got a big, bright line between the grassroots, which is where I'm from, and the establishment, which I get along with fine, even though we disagree. And I'm working on some things, and you'll hear about it here coming up, is how do we win elections? And if I can help bring people to the table to where we can win elections and get rid of the likes of a J.B. Pritzker, I'm all for those conversations, and that's what I'm working on.
Attorney Thomas Devore, greatly appreciate you taking the time with us this morning. We'll definitely be talking again soon.
Have a good day, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and much more coming up. Stay tuned. Follow me anywhere, Bishop On Air, at gmail.com, on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just search Bishop On Air. 6:55 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad-flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday afternoon at 4:30 and 6:30. Brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
If you're a registered nurse, here's a message you've never heard. Springfield Supportive Living has a rare opening for someone like you. Would you like to work with assisted living residents with the support of a company that values their employees? Springfield Supportive Living might be your next step. Their employees are paid and treated fairly. That's why this opening is very rare. If this sounds like you, apply online at springfieldsupportiveliving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Well, had a rough start to the morning, a little technical snafu. I'm glad you guys did end up tuning back in so that we could talk with Tom Devore about the latest in his cases after they were dismissed earlier this week by the Effingham County judge. Coming up, it was a sunny day at the Illinois State Fair for Governor's Day. Governor J.B. Pritzker using an expletive in front of the County Chairs Association. We'll hear that. Well, not the expletive. Of course, it'll be censored. But we'll hear what the Democrats' messaging is moving forward. Seems to be focused on Trump bad, Biden good. But what about the cloud over the Democrats from former House Speaker Michael Madigan? So stay tuned. We'll get to that coming up next here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Follow me anywhere, Bishop on Air. If you missed the Devore interview, don't worry. We'll get that up here in just moments on the podcast page and YouTube as well. So stay tuned. Tons more to get to here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 7 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Nguyen. Another day, another rise in the death toll in the Hawaii wildfires. 111 dead now. More bodies are found in burned out buildings and cars.
With cadaver dog teams in the neighborhood searching through burned out buildings, the number of dead rising here again. Teams are making progress moving through the homes with their dogs. Maui County Police Chief John Pelletier.
The number 38% is the area
searched.
After some on the island have claimed not enough is being done, FEMA is surging resources, including more cadaver dog teams that are heading this way. Alex Stone, ABC News, Maui.
A trial date could soon be set in the criminal indictment against former President Donald Trump and 18 alleged co-conspirators in Georgia over 2020 election interference. The Fulton County DA pushing for the start of the trial to be March 4th. All defendants in this case ordered to surrender by next Friday.
Surrendering to the sheriff at the county jail is just the first step in a process that will likely be far different from what we've seen before. In Georgia, there are cameras in court, which means Trump and the other defendants could be seen there often during a presidential campaign. And after they're booked, Trump and his co-defendants will have to appear before a judge to be arraigned and enter pleas. The district attorney saying she expects that to happen the week of September 5th.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. Meantime, an ABC News Ipsos poll out this morning on Trump's legal troubles.
The majority of Americans, 63%, say Donald Trump is facing serious charges of trying to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results. Those numbers are about the same as a similar ABC News Ipsos poll on the federal election indictment a few weeks ago in Washington. As for Hunter Biden, nearly half of all Americans, 48%, say they're not sure the Justice Department is handling his investigation in a fair and nonpartisan manner.
ABC's Andy Field. Later this morning, new unemployment numbers are due out from the Labor Department. This is ABC News.
Embarrassed by ugly yellow toe fungus?
Living with toe fungus it's embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off. I hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody.
Introducing Crystal Flush. Crystal Flush is the only FDA-registered 2-in-1 home treatment that attacks your toe fungus from both the inside and out. Crystal Flush's new and different combination system knocks out toe fungus for good. Guaranteed.
Crystal Flush is different. After just a few weeks, my fungus was gone. 100% disappeared. Crystal Flush was the only thing that ever worked. So if you're skeptical because you tried a bunch of other stuff, Crystal Flush is different. This is a game changer.
Crystal Flush is now available without a prescription, but it is not available in stores. Get your risk-free supply today. Go to crystalflush.com. That's CRYSTAL flush.com. Stop being embarrassed by ugly yellow toenails. Go to crystalflush.com or call 800-204-4488.
Well, it was a sunny day yesterday at the Illinois State Fairgrounds for Governor's Day, but there was still that cloud of corruption from the ongoing trial of the Madigan enterprise. What do some Democrats have to say about that? And what messaging are Democrats putting out heading into the 2024 election? So stay tuned. We'll get to all of that coming up. We'll hear from Governor J.B. Pritzker. We'll hear from Senator Dick Durbin. We'll hear from Alexi Giannoulias, Secretary of State. We'll even hear from House Assistant Majority Leader Jay Hoffman. So all of that's on the way here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop. It's now 7:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department is partnering with the Illinois State Police to stop impaired driving through stepped-up enforcement through the end of the month. Sheriff Jack Campbell asked everyone to plan ahead for a sober ride home if they aren't fit to drive. He urged that the effort to keep the roads safe be a partnership between law enforcement and motorists to help protect the community and put an end to the dangers of impaired driving. Illinois State School Superintendent Tony Sanders has directly criticized laws restricting classroom instruction in Florida, Texas, and other states in an opinion piece published in The 74 on Monday. He says that Illinois educators do not shy away from complex histories and identities, and that the state respects teacher judgment, does not allow book banning, and encourages dialogue from multiple perspectives. Governor J.B. Pritzker on Wednesday vetoed a measure that would have granted Ameren, Illinois authority to build new transmission lines without going through a competitive bidding process, so long as the project is approved by the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. In his veto statement, Pritzker said, quote, "Without competition, Ameren ratepayers will pay for these transmission projects at a much higher cost. Competitively bidding transmission construction instead of giving the utility a monopoly has been shown to lower costs significantly," end quote. The Associated Press reports that Illinois will provide funeral and burial services for the migrant toddler who died last week on a bus sent to Chicago by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The child would have turned 4 next week. She became ill aboard the bus in southern Illinois on August 10th and later died at a hospital. A spokesperson for the Illinois Department of Human Services said that the Illinois Welcoming Center, a partially state-funded program, will cover funeral and burial costs. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, apixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Have you lost Illinois Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Do your part today and you could save someone's life with Impact Life. And during Impact Life's Good Giving promotion this summer, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible to receive a $25 gift card. Or continue the giving and donate your gift to support local teachers. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Learn more at bloodcenter.org.
Everywhere you are, everywhere you live, with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or listen at home with your Amazon smart speaker. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Some scattered showers this morning, then mostly sunny with a high near 82, low around 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 79, low around 59. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. Sunday, sunny and hot with a high near 93. And Monday, sunny and hot with a high near 94. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You just bought a home in the suburbs, but no one told you about all the birds, specifically this one, who seems to be calling out Roy. Roy. But who exactly is Roy? And why doesn't he ever respond? Maybe Roy is just bird speak for Save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. I guess until Roy answers, we'll never know. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Designed for curious travelers. Viking offers all-inclusive voyages on all 7 continents, with no children and no casinos on board. Learn more at Viking.com.
If you're a registered nurse, here's a message you've never heard. Springfield Supportive Living has a rare opening for someone like you. Would you like to work with assisted living residents with the support of a company that values their employees? Springfield Supportive Living might be your next step. Their employees are paid and treated fairly. That's why this opening is very rare. If this sounds like you, apply online at springfieldsupportiveliving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Well, it was a sunny day at the Illinois State Fair yesterday with Governor's Day, and the questions were, of course, what's the messaging going to be heading into the 2024 election? But you still had that cloud of corruption from the ongoing prosecution of what federal prosecutors called Madigan Enterprise, a nearly decade-long bribery scheme. And we'll hear some of what the federal prosecutors are presenting to the jury that the Chicago Tribune has compiled into a pretty easily digestible format. So we'll review some of that. But let's start with yesterday's brunch with the Illinois Democratic County Chairs Association. And Governor J.B. Pritzker was one of the speakers at that event. And he laid out what he believes is going to be the excitement and the messaging that Democrats are going to move forward with. And in particular, he laid heavy on Republicans, criticizing them on a variety of issues. So here's some of the governor from his brunch presentation in front of leading county Democrats across the states here in Springfield.
5 years ago, when we were together at this brunch, we pledged to take back Illinois from the cruelty of Bruce Rauner and his Republican co-conspirators of incompetence. We knocked on doors and we put up signs and we made get out the vote calls from DuPage County to Cook County to Jackson County to Peoria County, from Rockford to Bloomington to Peoria to Cairo. Illinoisans voted with purpose and passion to end the Republican nightmare and turn the page to a new day in Illinois. Democrats won more seats in the legislature than ever before. Democrats won every statewide constitutional office, and we won the governorship with the largest margin for a Democrat in more than half a century. And then, just a year ago, I asked you to do it all over again. And you know what? Voters gave us bigger margins and elected more Democrats. Together, we've built a blue wave, a tsunami that swept away the red wall of Ulines and Griffins and Rauners and Trumps. You know what works to protect everyday Illinois families? Winning works.
So the governor then went on to talk about the issues they're focused on, from abortion to book bans and a variety of other things. But he also laid, again, heavy on Republicans.
They say they want to solve real problems, but then they spend all of their time screaming conspiracy theories about the purge, about Disney, about green M&Ms and space lasers. Because here's their game, everyone. Republicans think that if they lie about something often enough, if they deny the truth long enough, maybe we will start to believe their lies. The problem is this. Here in Illinois, we have a low tolerance for bull.
And that gets a standing ovation from Democratic leaders.
You know the old story about the emperor who had no clothes? Well, he couldn't get 10 feet in the Southside Irish Parade or the Bud Billiken Parade or at the State Fair without someone here telling him he's naked. Illinois Democrats have done more in the last 5 years to push back on the wave of authoritarian, anti-democratic, MAGA Republican nonsense than in any other place in the country.
So the governor saying that Democrats are pushing against authoritarianism. Be interested to hear some of your thoughts about that particular issue. Are Democrats pushing against authoritarianism, or where do you stand on that? Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. You can always chime in live and local. I'd love to take your calls because we're going to be focusing on this hour. The messaging from the Democrats at the state fair. We'll come back and hear what they had to say on the fairgrounds after having their brunch. So stay tuned. We got more coming up here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. At 7:15, let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today it's going to be pretty pleasant. We've got a high of around 80 some odd degrees, 83. Sunny skies eventually with clear skies tonight. And then Friday, the high of only 79. Saturday, we're looking at sunny skies, the high of 84. Sunday, the high of 93. And then it's going to warm up Monday, the high of 96. Let's go ahead and take a phone call coming in here this morning with Springfield's Morning News at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Thanks, Greg, and good morning. Yeah, the governor's campaigning already, and he's creating Republicans, and he's getting people off their seat. I do think at some point we're going to have to address voting irregularities in Illinois, because I believe there's a lot more Republicans than the media lets us believe. But, you know, people are going to suffer just enough tyranny, and then they're going to start waking up. And when they do, they're not going to vote Democrat. These guys are pushing through some really horrendous things. And I'm seeing Democrats in my own circles that are starting to scratch their head and question things.
Well, we'll see what happens in the election. Of course, 2024 is next year, but the state fair seemed to be the opening salvo for what Democrats are going to be focusing on heading into next year. Appreciate the phone call. And again, you can call in live and local at 217-629-7970. More to come. At 7:17 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
It can happen easily. A few drinks becomes a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire. Even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf.
4.
Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card.
B7. Oh, bingo!
Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
The 200 Club. You know, with Green Hyundai, you don't just get a little card that's commemorative saying, oh, you're on the 200 Club. And you don't just get, you know, that regular note saying, oh, welcome back to the 200 Club. No, you get a new car and the assurance that you're going to be taken care of for the long haul with Green Hyundai. So join the 200 Club today. Mike Quimby standing by to tell you how they're going to make that happen for you. Good morning, Mike.
That's right, Greg. Good morning. And the 200 Club, you are right. You will be a member with a new car, a new Hyundai. It's absolutely exciting. And it's time to kind of prepare as the kids getting back to school here. And it's reminding you that winter's right around the corner. And you want safe, reliable transportation. The Hyundai Palisade, the 7 and 8 passenger vehicle that has taken the SUV market by storm, was just voted the most safest SUV by the National Highway Safety Council. That's big stuff. Also backed up by America's best warranty. There is no better 10-year, 100,000 miles. So come out and join the 200 Club. Help us reach our goal of 200 retail new Hyundais by Labor Day weekend. So we're on the east side. We're preparing to move here soon. This 200 Club's important to us, and you will get the deal of a lifetime. So stop and see us, 1200 South Dirksen Parkway, tonight till 7, Friday till 7, Saturday till 6. Come join the 200 Club.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai, and have a great day.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
If you're even thinking about putting a new mattress on an old box spring, visit Just Beds today. The free box spring event is underway. Get a free box spring with the purchase of any premium Bemco, Arctic Breeze, Max Life, or Chatham & Wells mattress. That even includes any Bemco mattress currently on sale. Free delivery, free setup, free haul away, and a free box spring from the Yawn Exterminators on Montvale, Springfield.
Just Beds.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Your next vacation to Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, Florida is just a quick flight away with nonstop flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Enjoy lounging on the beach, golfing the stunning courses, or catching up with family in the Sunshine State. Find yourself a warm getaway with low fares from Allegiant and your friends at Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, where parking is always free. Book your trip today at Allegiant.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
If you're preparing your kids for school with an old computer, you might get a frantic call in the middle of the night when problems suddenly crop up. At BLH Computers, you can fill the backpack with laptops that carry the exclusive BLH guarantee. BLH Computers has a big supply available with school budget pricing in mind. So send them off to school and quit worrying with laptops, accessories, and upgrades from BLH Computers in Jacksonville, Taylorville, and Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Hearing some of the messaging from Democrats at the Illinois State Fair yesterday for Governor's Day. Welcome back. Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can call in at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Let's go ahead and hear what Governor J.B. Pritzker said is the excitement and support for President Joe Biden heading into the 2024 election. Here's the governor.
To commit insurrection against this nation, and he's going to be convicted.
So, again, the full statement here from Governor J.B. Pritzker. Let's get this lined up. Juggling all kinds of things here. Again, Governor J.B. Pritzker from yesterday after he rallied Democrats at the State Fair.
Well, it's hard to say that they'd be more fired up because we are going to reelect this president as we did in 1996. And Joe Biden is the best person for the country. Kamala Harris, our vice president, too. And we're excited to have the best convention in the entire country. In fact, in the history of the Democratic Party, this will be the best convention ever.
You've got Governor Pritzker talking about Biden and why he thinks Biden's the best, and also highlighting that of Biden being the choice for the party. But there's other issues that the governor also talked about when addressing members of the media yesterday, and in particular, he talked about the issues that Democrats are trying to make themselves different from what Republicans are portraying themselves for.
Well, Democrats are motivated, and they are all across the nation, not just in Illinois. But I'll tell you, we can already see, and you see this in Ohio, you saw it in Kansas, that one of the issues that's animating Democrats is preserving reproductive rights for women. And women's rights are under attack. It's not just reproductive rights. You're seeing the Supreme Court contemplate going after other rights, birth control, for example, which affects everybody. And so these are things that are going to be on the ballot. People understand that when they vote in November, they're voting for or against women's rights. They're voting for or against reproductive rights. They're voting for or against civil rights and human rights.
So let's go ahead and take your phone calls at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here on WMAY. Got a couple of calls lined up. Good morning. You're on the air. What's up?
Yes, I'm just calling to comment on Governor Pritzker's remarks. I'm an independent, but I personally could care less about changing women's rights one way or the other. I think we have more than enough rights. I am a woman. And I'm really more concerned about things like illegal alien costs to the taxpayer, or about the diseases that are coming in, including things like leprosy I've heard of recently in the new COVID strains, about our educational and our justice system failing, our medical system failing. And I hear constantly about the importance of our environment, yet all the recycling centers down where I live in southern Illinois have been shut down, which to me is counterproductive. And I don't care where people go to the bathroom, honestly. I care about where we're going to the party. I don't want to hear Republicans or Democrats bash. I just like to hear what they're going to do constructively to change things for the better.
I appreciate the call. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. You don't want to hear people bash each other, but that's what Governor Pritzker did when talking about Trump yesterday at the state fair. And in particular, he said that Trump is a liar and faces indictment, and all of this is going to come out in trial, and he's going to be convicted. Here's the governor.
Well, former President Trump has lost credibility for years now. He lies and lies and lies. That's all now coming out in court. We're going to see more and more that what he tried to do was to commit insurrection against this nation, and he's going to be convicted.
So obviously it's a pretty contentious issue. What about Pritzker? Is he going to run for office? You've got Democrats who are polling saying that they don't want Joe Biden to be the president. There's questions about his fitness. And Pritzker was asked yesterday if indeed he would run if in a pinch. And here's what the governor had to say.
I'm for Joe Biden. I'm fighting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They're going to win in November of 2024.
So, again, the governor dismissing the idea of him running for president. I'd love to get your thoughts at 217-629-7970. Got a lot more to get to, including hearing from Alexi Giannoulias and Senator Dick Durbin, both about Trump and Biden. So get right here with WMAY. Good morning. You're on the air. What's up?
Yeah, good morning. Maybe it's just me, but I see some irony in that statement that, Trump's a liar. How can he even possibly believe that Biden's the best candidate for our country? It's just ridiculous. But what I'm more concerned with, I've got an eighth grade daughter who's wondering if boys are going to be coming into the bathroom at school now because of this new state law where you can use whichever bathroom you want. That's something for school kids to have to think about now, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously these are going to be contentious issues heading into the election. And I did ask Senator Dick Durbin about what we expect Republicans to really criticize the Democrats about, and that's wokeism. What is woke? Here is Senator Durbin responding to my question about that.
I will tell you this. Let's go out in the fairgrounds here, pick 100 people, and ask them what the hell that means. People don't know what they're talking about. Florida is anti-woke. What is that all about? Unless you go to sleep with Fox TV blaring in your ear. You have no idea what this term even means. If they want to make this the centerpiece of their election, I'm going to make the economy the centerpiece of our election.
So Senator Durbin doesn't think that the vast majority of people know what woke means, but he also talked about Trump and how bad Trump is.
The Donald Trump situation is going to play itself out one way or the other. The only point I tried to make to this gathering of Democrats is this is serious business. We're talking about his constitutional rights as a criminal defendant, but we're also talking about the most serious charges against any elected official in the history of this country. Overturning in a presidential election, I can't recall anywhere anything near that in the past. So it's not an applause line, it's a fact. And we got to consider letting the system of justice do its job.
So Durbin sounding off on Trump and what the election could look like. Alexi Giulias, the Secretary of State, he laid out his thoughts on Trump and how the Republicans have to answer to the fact that he is the leader of their party.
Well, I also think, quite frankly, the leader of their party is Donald Trump. There's no way around that. He's not up by 5 points or 6 points, up by 30 or 40 points. And they have to answer for that. They have to answer for their attack on our planet, our attack on democracy, their attack on women's rights, their attack on voting rights. So I think the contrast has never been so clear.
So you've heard from Governor Pritzker, Senator Durbin, Secretary of State Alexi Giulias about how bad Trump is and how Republicans have to answer for Trump and facing indictment, and we'll see all that play out, of course. But what about Biden? A lot of questions about Biden. And Alexi Giulias answering some of those questions.
I will tell you unequivocally, and I don't know if we can tell in a couple years or if it's going to be 20 or 30 years down the road, what he's accomplished in his first term has been absolutely unimaginably a success. From an economic standpoint, fighting for social justice issues. So I'm proud of the presidency he's run. I'm proud to support him. We still have a ways away.
So you're saying there's still time for a new nominee, or you're saying...
No, I'm saying the election is a ways away, and I think he'll have a chance to showcase what he and the administration have done.
So again, Alexi Giulias responding to questions about Biden, and he's essentially doubling down, saying Biden's the guy, and all the policies he's been putting in place are really going to be fruitful over decades, he says. But the question was also posed to Senator Durbin about Biden's fitness. Because Biden's, 80 years old right now? If he gets elected shortly after the November 2024 election, he'll be 81? So, or 82? So, of course, some questions about the president's fitness. Here's Senator Durbin reacting to those questions. And go.
The ability to lead for another 4 years after 2024. Is it time for maybe somebody else to step up?
Listen, I watched Joe Biden for years in the Senate when we served together, and I watched him as president. He's still up to the challenge and doing a great job. He's setting records on the economy. He's doing things with the NATO alliance that nobody dreamed would happen after what Trump did to it. The Ukrainians thank him as they should, and I support his effort. He's an international leader and a national leader, and I see no reason not to support him for re-election. I'll be supporting him.
Do you see anything possibly that could happen where Joe Biden might step away and not run for re-election at the last minute, opening the door for Gavin Newsom or J.B. Pritzker?
He's planning on running for re-election. I'm planning on supporting him. You can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow on either the Republican or Democratic side.
You can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, Durbin says. And he also says that Biden is planning on running. I thought Biden officially announced that he's running. But either way, Democrats reacting to the questions of Biden's fitness. But I asked Durbin about the prospect of a impeachment inquiry that the House could come back and launch this fall. Here's what Senator Durbin had to say.
Well, I think Chuck Schumer said it best yesterday. The Democrats are interested in investing, and the Republicans are interested in investigating. I think when it gets right down to it, we know what they're doing. They're trying to create a diversion as to what's happening to former President Trump. We've got work to do. Infrastructure bills, chips in the future of our economy. AI. There's so many things that are important to Americans and the future of our economy. That has to be our highest priority.
You know, it's pretty amazing when you get to it and compare the messaging from 4 years ago to now, right? Because 4 years ago, Republicans were saying that all Democrats wanted to do with Trump was investigate and not legislate. So the Republicans cast that onto Democrats because, I mean, ultimately, the Democrats impeached Trump twice. Now he's indicted 4 times, while Republicans now are the ones that have at least power in the U.S. House, and they're doing some deep dives and investigating of Biden's finances and whether he, knows of his son's business dealings. And I even asked Durbin about that. Ultimately, that question of does he, is he confident that Biden didn't mention anything about his son's business dealings? Here's
our highest priority.
And again, he said no, he believes the president didn't know anything about his business dealings. Still more to come, including the question of the cloud of corruption from Mike Madigan. And that was a question I posed to several of the Democrats at the state fair yesterday. So we'll get to that next. And of course, you can sound off at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number, 217-629-7970. So stay tuned. Coming up here. Right now, though, it's 7:36, late for news. Here's some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, the Springfield Art Association announces open auditions for the Edwards Place Murder Mystery Showdown at the Edwards Saloon. Sheriff Woody and Rifleman Rosie are set to have a showdown at the Edwards Saloon, but before he can arrive, the sheriff's been murdered. Auditions are Friday and Saturday, beginning at 5:30 on both days. Edwards Place is located at 700 North 4th Street in Springfield, and a link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. Make-A-Wish Illinois stands to benefit from a golf fundraiser on Friday. The Rail Golf Course will be hosting a 4-person scramble golf outing to raise money for the Illinois branch of the National Charitable Organization. Proceeds support life-changing wish experiences for children with critical illnesses. Registration is at 7 o'clock in the morning, shotgun start at 8 o'clock, and lunch at noon. More information at WMAY.com. A bird in Logan County has tested positive for West Nile virus, which usually spreads through the bite of an infected mosquito. According to the Illinois Department of Public Health, the virus has been detected in 39 counties. The agency reports that so far no human cases have been reported, but over 1,000 batches of mosquitoes have tested positive statewide, along with a dozen birds. Officials warned that there could be other animals infected and in other areas. Governor J.B. Pritzker on Wednesday vetoed a measure that would have granted Ameren, Illinois authority to build new transmission lines without going through a competitive bidding process, so long as the project is approved by the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. In his veto statement, Pritzker said, quote, "Without competition, Ameren ratepayers will pay for these transmission projects at a much higher cost. Competitively bidding transmission construction instead of giving the utility a monopoly has been shown to lower costs significantly," end quote. The Associated Press reports that Illinois will provide funeral and burial services for the migrant toddler who died last week on a bus sent to Chicago by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The child would have turned 4 next week. She became ill aboard the bus in southern Illinois on August 10th and later died at a hospital. A spokesperson for the Illinois Department of Human Services said that the Illinois Welcoming Center, a partially state-funded program, will cover funeral and burial costs. The Springfield Fire Department announced yesterday a grant from FEMA to enhance its firefighting capabilities. The grant is for $460,000 and will fund breathing apparatuses to be used by firefighters entering burning buildings, as well as support infrastructure. Chief Edward Canny said the new equipment will have a significant impact on the department's ability to protect lives and property. If live jazz and blues is your thing, Rudy Boz and friends will be appearing at Boone's, 301 West Edwards Street in downtown Springfield. The 4-piece ensemble will play for 2 hours beginning at 5:30 p.m. There's no cover charge, and Boone's offers a family-friendly atmosphere with food and spirits. More information at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the yawn exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
And paid for by Linear Marketing Group. Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average, a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $17,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-268-1993 now. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-268-1993. That's 800-268-1993. Again, 800-268-1993.
Listen and watch interviews with the biggest newsmakers. Subscribe to 92.7 WMAY on YouTube.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Some scattered showers this morning, then mostly sunny with a high near 82, low around 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 79, low around 59. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. Sunday, sunny and hot with a high near 93. And Monday, sunny and hot with a high near 94. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Hey, just want to park myself here for 1 minute to tell you about the fine folks over at BLH Computers. August is here. Kids are back to school in some cases, I think this week. And if you're preparing that kid, or if your kid is back in the classroom this week and they have an older laptop, they could be telling you very soon, maybe even calling you up and saying this thing has bit the dust. And of course, they're telling you at the last possible moment. You can avoid that hassle still and get them an updated laptop from the fine folks over at BLH Computers. You can load that backpack up with a laptop that's coming with that exclusive BLH guarantee. That means all repairs are free, no labor charges, in-stock parts are free for the life of the computer. BLH Computers still has a great supply of laptops that are ready to go, budget friendly, and also don't forget to take those old machines that are just going to be sitting around the house or down in the basement and take those to BLH Computers for safe recycling. Get those kids back to school this month with peace of mind, no worries, updated laptops, the accessories, get it all at BLH Computers, locations in Springfield, Jacksonville, Taylorville, on Facebook and online at blhcomputers.com.
Country music superstars are taking the Illinois Lottery Grandstand stage at this year's Illinois State Fair. Kicking it all off is record-breaking award winners Old Dominion on Friday night, August 11th, with special guest Alexandra Kay.
I don't want to be one man band.
Megastar Tim McGraw hits the stage on Thursday night, August 17th, with special guest Landon Parker.
Always stay humble and kind.
And Grammy winner Maren Morris will bring hit after hit on Saturday night, August 19th. Tickets are on sale now 24/7 at Ticketmaster.com, the Ticketmaster app, or at the Grandstand ticket office during regular business hours. And don't forget to add your pre-show party tickets for only $30. Party before the show and be the first ones into the Grandstand. Act now. Don't miss these country powerhouses at the 2023 Illinois State Fair, August 10th through the 20th.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Democrats enjoyed that sunshine at the Illinois State Fair, but there was still that cloud of Mike Madigan's corruption that federal prosecutors allege, and I had to ask Democrats about that ongoing prosecution, where earlier this year you had the ComEd 4 found guilty. That was a former utility executive, 3 lobbyists, including a close confidant of Michael Madigan, being Michael McLean. So they were found guilty earlier this year. Tim Mapes, Madigan's former chief of staff and House clerk, faces trial today and ongoing throughout the rest of the week, where evidence is being provided. And Madigan, he faces trial for what prosecutors called Madigan Enterprise, a nearly decade-long bribery scheme to curry favor from the legislature in exchange for little-to-do-nothing jobs for Madigan associates. Obviously, Madigan's pleaded not guilty. He faces trial next year. But all of this, a cloud over the Democrats' messaging, and had to get those questions in. But before we hear the response about that cloud, what's going on with the Mapes trial? Well, it's ongoing, and if you check out the Chicago Tribune, they've compiled all of the evidence that's been presented so far to the jury, including audio evidence. And you can actually go and click through and hear some of this, including a conversation that Mapes had with Mike McLean that deals with some stuff happening here in Springfield. And in particular, a conversation that McLean worried was being recorded during a phone call that he shared concerning a Chinatown land deal. But he reflected on something that happened here in Springfield.
No. I'm kind of worked up about this.
Well, I don't. He got more worked up after your phone call, not because of you, but because of because of Andrew.
Right.
And I didn't get much on the Andrew thing in my other call, but I got more on other things, and he got focused on Andrew, and so he got anxious to get back to the apartment. But we were here at Alexander's. Jody comes up and says that a couple tables away was Frank Ortiz and someone else, and they thought they were taping our conversation.
Really?
So he got quiet.
So obviously, some of the concerns there about conversations being taped, but that tape was rolling on that conversation. And some of the other evidence includes a conference call with Madigan and a bunch of his lieutenants, and he was sharing some of his thoughts.
And those that did not want to use.
But it sounds like to me this is not going to be like a quick story. They're
next to that, I was driving to Springfield, and Tim called to tell me that Bustos wanted to talk to me, and I talked to Bustos, and Bustos told me she was sending through a letter where these three were going to declare their independence and proclaim that they would do independent fundraising to pay for what they were going to do. And that it was really absolutely critical to what they planned to do, that there be independence from me. And right about this time, why the panel took the view that they were only going to communicate to me in writing.
So again, this was back in 2018 when Madigan had this conference call, and that was during the peak of the #MeToo movement. So if you get a chance, there's tons of evidence there. You could spend all day just listening and reading the transcripts and whatnot. But what's the reaction from Democrats? Now, granted, we didn't necessarily hear anything bombshell, and there's tons of evidence there, but it just highlights the prosecutors have the goods. They have the recordings. They presented a bunch during the ComEd 4 trial. They're presenting even more here at the Tim Mapes trial, and I imagine we're going to hear a lot more in the trial with Mike Madigan next year. So what lessons have Democrats learned? I asked that question. We'll get some answers. Stay tuned. Springfield's Morning News at 7:49 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
Do you have an ugly driveway? Is your driveway washed out, deteriorating, unfunctional, or maybe you just want to improve the looks of your home? Well, at Illinois Paving, we have the solution for you. Try decorative hot tar and chip, which is a fraction of the cost of asphalt. You can choose your own color of your new driveway, and we're usually in and out in a day. So call Cousin Bill and the crew at Illinois Paving today. IslePaving.com.
It can happen so easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go, and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA. It can happen so easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go, and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, August 18th through the 21st, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators. I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Yuck.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else. No TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad. They're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them, our delivery people are better at installing them, and our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best thing.
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
There are many reasons to buy a Verlo mattress. We've narrowed it down to the 8 great reasons to choose Verlo. Reason number 1, we're a second-generation, family-owned and operated business. My dad and older brother opened this store almost 25 years ago. Their sons are still involved in the business. You're not just talking with a salesperson at Verlo, you're with family, with the guys that build your mattress. We're not just selling you a mattress, we genuinely care about improving the quality of your sleep. For a list of all 8 great reasons and our current sale, Google us or like us on Facebook.
When I commit to someone, I want them to commit back to me for, life. That's why I love Verlo mattress. When you buy a Verlo, you get something nobody else offers, a commitment to helping you love your sleep for as long as you own your mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee. Those other places, you get a measly 60, 90, maybe 120 nights. Not even close, guys. Wake up, sleep better. Verlo.
If you're a registered nurse, here's a message you've never heard. Springfield Supportive Living has a rare opening for someone like you. Would you like to work with assisted living residents with the support of a company that values their employees? Springfield Supportive Living might be your next step. Their employees are paid and treated fairly. That's why this opening is very rare. If this sounds like you, apply online at springfieldsupportiveliving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Democrats gathering at the state fair today. Republicans gather Democrats gathered yesterday. Republicans gather today. But as Democrats gathered under sunny skies, you had that cloud of corruption with the ongoing prosecution of Tim Mapes, the guilty verdicts of the ComEd 4, and Mike Madigan facing trial next year. Madigan wasn't just the longest-serving State House Speaker in history. He was also in charge of the Democratic Party of Illinois from 1998 all the way up until 2021 when he stepped down after leaving the State House. Shortly after that, he was charged with 22 counts of corruption. So what do some of the Democrats have to say? What lessons have they learned? I found State Representative Jay Hoffman. He is the Assistant House Majority Leader, and I asked him about what lessons Democrats have learned from all of this.
Well, I mean, I personally haven't followed it that closely. I do know that there have been certain allegations, and we'll just let the courts determine the course of action.
And as far as anything that the State House can do to shore up ethics, I know that they triggered laws that allegedly they violated, and they're facing that. Is there anything that the State House can do to get ahead of that, to keep like an 8-year-long or a 9-year-long bribery allegation from going on as long as it did?
Well, first of all, bribery is illegal. It's always been illegal. It'll continue to be illegal. We passed substantial ethics reforms recently, and let's just let them be put into effect, and let's see how they work out.
But some of those reforms not going nearly far enough. You've got Republicans saying that Madigan's House rules are still very much in place, allowing for a focus on raising up special interests concerns over the concerns of the people of Illinois. And that's true. There's a lot of the Madigan rules still in place. Republicans and the superminority can't advance legislation, even if they get bipartisan support, unless the Speaker allows for it to move forward with the Rules Committee that is dominated by Democrats. So obviously there's still a lot of questions as to how exactly the House rules play with all of this. You had Senator Dick Durbin having to answer some of the questions as well as to Madigan. And is there still that cloud overhead? And what lessons have Democrats learned?
We've moved to a new generation of leadership in the House of Representatives here in Springfield. A great leader, and with the governor and the president of the Senate, they're doing extraordinary things for our state. That's an important chapter in our history, but it is history.
So I also asked others, including Alexi Janulius, the Secretary of State, about what lessons Madigan corruption saga should be taken from Democrats. Are they learning anything?
I will tell you from within our office and being in Springfield, we don't talk about Mike Madigan. It doesn't really come up. I'm focused on what we've been able to do. And as all of you know very well, Mike Madigan was never a fan of mine. Did everything he could to make sure I never got into office. So I'm proud of the leadership we have in place. We have a great leader in the Illinois Senate and the House, and an amazing governor.
But are there any lessons to be learned that you think the Democrats should pick up?
Yeah, I think people are sick and tired of scandal, corruption, so anything we can do to increase transparency and let people know exactly what happens at every level is important. We're doing that on our side with lobbyist registration. We want to do everything we can to increase transparency from the Secretary of State's vantage point.
So, again, just some of the elected Democrats reacting to that question of what lessons should be learned. I tried talking with House Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch, but he simply said no interviews. A couple of different times I tried to talk to him at the fairgrounds, but nothing. Let's take a quick call here. You've got less than a minute. Good morning.
Greg, you can't come to the fair and say no interviews. That's ridiculous. Come on, man. Welch. Hey, the guy that said bribery is illegal, so essentially he's saying we already have laws in the books. Man, if they only took that approach when it came to gun legislation. Thanks, Greg.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, and that's kind of a go-to. That's kind of a go-to comment that Democrats have is, listen, these guys are being caught breaking the law. They're already being found out to break the law, but Republicans have been pushing for things to allow for more independence with the Inspector General so that they can actually get to the root of these things before federal prosecutors have to come in and arrest people. There's a whole host of reforms that Republicans have been pushing for, but really haven't seen advance at the Illinois State House. All right, that's all I got for you this hour. Of course, the Republicans, they rally today, so they'll have their chance. And I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about Madigan and wokeism.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville. Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Nguyen. Georgia's Fulton County District Attorney pushing to take former President Trump and his 18 alleged co-conspirators to trial in early March over 2020 election interference. District Attorney Fonnie Willis has an exact start date in mind.
The DA asking the judge to set March 4th, right in the middle of the campaign and potentially conflicting with other trials. Trump and the 18 alleged co-conspirators will likely have to show up at the county jail, where the sheriff has indicated they're ready, expected to be fingerprinted and get their mugshots taken. The sheriff saying defendants can turn themselves in at any time. The jail is open 24/7.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. Meantime, a new ABC News Ipsos poll out showing the majority of Americans, 63%, say Donald Trump is facing serious or somewhat serious charges in Georgia. Yet the same survey also shows his popularity hasn't changed much, tied with President Biden at 31% each. In the Maui wildfires in Hawaii, 111 now dead as the searching of burned-out homes and abandoned cars continues. And ABC's Gio Benitez reports a security camera captured what could be the first video evidence of how it all began.
August 7th at 10:47 p.m., a day earlier, you hear a witness describe a flash that might be a tree falling on a power line. One expert saying those videos taken in upcountry Maui show the flames spreading and may be the first evidence of downed power lines igniting a fire. By the next morning, August 8th at 6:37 a.m. in Lahaina, Shane True uses a garden hose to battle a fire.
That's the power line that started.
Authorities declaring that brush fire under control around 9 a.m., but then lost control of the flames hours later when the winds caused a flare-up to spread. By 5 p.m., Lahaina's historic Front Street up in flames.
And if you want to help, ABC News Today is launching Maui Strong to help connect you with ways to donate. All the details at abcnews.com. This is ABC News.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
All right, coming up, we've got some conversations to be had about agriculture, but also a conversation about CO2 pipelines. We'll join somebody from Smart Carbon Network here soon with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And also we got Crime of the Week. We've got the Business Spotlight. So a few things here this hour. Is it already 8 o'clock? That blows me away. I can't believe we're all... Then after this, I'm heading out to the State Fair again. You've got Republican Day at the fairgrounds where surely there's going to be a lot for them to say. So looking forward to seeing what their rebuttal is to the Democrats here in Illinois yesterday, blasting Republicans and former President Donald Trump. So a lot to get to with the State Fair, but plenty to tackle this hour. It's right here on Springfield's Morning News on WMAY, now 8:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Springfield Fire Department announced Tuesday a grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency to enhance its firefighting capabilities. The grant is for $460,000 and will fund breathing apparatuses to be used by firefighters entering burning buildings as well as support infrastructure. Chief Edward Canny said the new equipment will have a significant impact on the department's ability to protect lives and property. A bird in Logan County has tested positive for West Nile virus, which usually spreads through the bite of an infected mosquito. According to the Illinois Department of Public Health, the virus has been detected in 39 counties. The agency reports that so far no human cases have been reported, but over 1,000 batches of mosquitoes have tested positive statewide, along with a dozen birds. Officials warned that there could be other animals infected and in other areas. The Marion County, Kansas prosecutor, Joel Enzi, said yesterday there was insufficient evidence for police to seize computers and other items from the local newspaper office and from the publisher's home. The staff printed yesterday's edition without their cell phones and computers seized in the raid. The front page of the Marion County Record Wednesday read, "Seized but not silenced." Supporters of independent journalism have flocked to the paper's website, and subscriptions have increased by 50%. Anyone wanting to subscribe and support the newspaper can follow a link at WMAY.com. Make-A-Wish Illinois stands to benefit from a golf fundraiser on Friday. The Rail Golf Course will be hosting a 4-person scramble golf outing to raise money for the Illinois branch of the National Charitable Organization. Proceeds support life-changing wish experiences for children with critical illnesses. Registration is at 7 o'clock in the morning, shotgun start at 8 o'clock, and lunch at noon. More information at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on signs, banners, and posters from Staples Print and Marketing Services. Save on everything you need for travel, like luggage, tech, and travel-sized personal items. Plus, save on all your school essentials, from notebooks to markers. Now at Staples, you can save even more with $20 back in rewards on your in-store purchase of $50 or more. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. Ends 8/19. Redeemable in-store only. Rewards members only.
Summer's heating things up, outside and on the grill. Whether you're smoking a brisket or grilling up veggies, Kingsford Original Charcoal delivers the consistent performance and smoky wood-fired flavor barbecuers crave. Kingsford Original lights faster and has a long burn time, giving you the ultimate grilling experience. So grab a bag of Kingsford Original Charcoal. Kingsford.com. Kingsford Original Charcoal lights faster and delivers consistent performance compared to nationally available charcoal in the USA.
Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on signs, banners, and posters from Staples Print and Marketing Services. Save on everything you need for travel, like luggage, tech, and travel-sized personal items. Plus, save on all your school essentials, from notebooks to markers. Now at Staples, you can save even more with $20 back in rewards on your in-store purchase of $50 or more. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. Ends 8/19. Redeemable in-store only. Rewards members only.
Miss an interview? Catch the podcast whenever, wherever. 92.7 WMAY is on demand at WMAY.com.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Some scattered showers this morning, then mostly sunny with a high near 82, low around 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 79, low around 59. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. Sunday, sunny and hot with a high near 93. And Monday, sunny and hot with a high near 94. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Summer's heating things up, outside and on the grill. Whether you're smoking a brisket or grilling up veggies, Kingsford Original Charcoal delivers the consistent performance and smoky wood-fired flavor barbecuers crave. Kingsford Original lights faster and has a long burn time, giving you the ultimate grilling experience. So grab a bag of Kingsford Original Charcoal. Kingsford.com. Kingsford Original Charcoal lights faster and delivers consistent performance compared to nationally available charcoal in the USA.
Hey, you know what I don't get? Why is that company always telling you to just do what? What is it? To just look like everybody else? Or maybe just pay way too much for your shoes? Well, at Skechers, we know what we want you to do. Just slip in. That's right, just slip in to new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Why? Because slip-ins are the easiest, most comfortable shoes ever. You don't have to bend down to put them on. You don't even have to touch them. Find slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
We've talked a lot on these airwaves about proposed CO2 pipelines that are being planned for Illinois coming from out of state. You've got the Navigator pipeline that was filed last year. They rescinded it and then they refiled it, and going through the Illinois Commerce Commission, several public hearings, a lot of support from the Manufacturers Association, the Chamber of Commerce, but you've got pushback from people who live in these areas not wanting this to come through, and a lot of information being shared all around. So you've got Navigator, you've also got Wolf ADM, that's another proposed pipeline. What's really this all about? What's the purpose of taking CO2 in a gas form, condensing it to liquid, and then pumping it through high-pressure pipelines through more than a dozen Illinois counties to then go into and inject all the way and sequester into Illinois' ground? To talk more about this is somebody from Smart Carbon Solutions. Let me actually get that right. Joe, you introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you're with again.
Yeah, thank you for having me on this morning, by the way, and hope everybody's having a great day. I'm Joe Heinrich. I'm Executive Director of the Smart Carbon Network. It's a coalition that was put together. We launched in May, and it's really just to talk about, it's a coalition that's put together to talk about that, get the information out, have that, let's bring that emotion down of the whole situation, and let's have a discussion about the overall part of carbon capture. The pipelines are definitely part of that transportation part, but there's a big picture to the carbon capture.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it because, of course, all we've heard so far is some of the concerns from residents and environmental groups and people worried about the impacts on their communities and property rights and so on. But I guess let's, before we talk about the pipeline, what's going on with carbon capture? It seems like it's still a pretty new concept.
Well, it actually isn't. It's been around since the 1970s, so for about 50 years. And actually, the transportation part of it, the pipelines, have also been there. There's about 5,500 miles of those pipelines already in place. Over those 50 years, there's only been 2 incidences where there's been ruptures. There's been no deaths, fortunately. Unfortunately, there have been injuries, just as you're going to have with anything else. Any other mode of transportation, compared to. But the overall carbon capture is really interesting because, first off, in the agricultural and industry sectors, it's a way for them to get to low carbon fuel, low carbon products, which is being required more and more and more, not by the government, but by our consumers. And so this is something that's needed for that reason. And then into the future, there's a lot of exciting things, the potential of what can be used, carbon dioxide can be used for in the future to make products and bring in new industry.
And if you could talk a little bit about that, because of course you've got the carbon capture, and there's an environmental component there saying that we need to capture this byproduct from industrial, operations, so it doesn't get into the atmosphere and cause pollution and so on. So that there's that component, but what can we do with that? Because I know the pipeline's looking to sequester it deep into ground, but what are some of the things that are being postulated as what could be used with this condensed carbon dioxide?
Yeah, there's several things. I've always said that whenever you have a product that's not worth much, there's entrepreneurs that'll figure out a way to make money on it, and so there's a lot of research, a lot of development being done. One of the things they're already working into is putting in sequestered into concrete. That's an option to do it. That helps it. Insulation's another one that's starting to get really a foothold to it, of using that carbon to produce insulation. The one that's been really interesting to me is there's a lot of work being done on green hydrogen. And what this is, it's a product that actually can be used in combustible engines. So it would be a replacement for regular fossil fuel. And it part of the process, I'm not a chemist, so I can't help you on that, but part of the process is using CO2 to develop this green hydrogen, which is actually low hydrogen or low carbon, excuse me. So there, in that one, they're starting to look at, there's been memorandums of understanding signed to buy some of that carbon off these pipelines, off the off-ramps. And what's great is where I'm looking at those opportunities are across the whole Midwest. If we can have those industries come into the Midwest, it helps our communities, it helps our neighbors, it helps us. It builds a vibrant community. And I think that's really important.
So we've talked about capturing carbon, and we've talked about what some of the end products from the industrial byproduct could be. But let's talk now about that pipeline, because that seems to be what a lot of people are focused on, and concerns raised of possible ruptures and a low-lying noxious gas that could cause people to lose the ability to breathe or even the ability to turn on their gas-powered vehicle. We've heard all of this, and we've seen even the Illinois Commerce Commission has a staff engineer that said that at least Navigator's proposed pipeline is not for the public benefit and should be denied. Where are they getting this wrong?
Well, let me first off, if I can give you a little of my background. I actually farm in eastern Iowa. I have a farm with a son-in-law and a nephew. We're a family operation, so I truly get the concerns that come with this. That's the property rights have got to be addressed. I understand that those safety issues need to be worked through so everybody's comfortable with it. There's some good answers on that, so I get it because I'm a rural farmer. Just happened to be on 20 miles the other side of the Mississippi River. But as far as the issues of safety, like I said, this has been done for about 50 years, and it's got a really good track record. The people who are putting this in for safety, those pipe fitters, it's amazing the training they go through, the pride in their work. They live in those communities. They want to make sure it's done correctly. When the land reclamation process, I've talked to people about that who are doing it, and they said the advances they've done in the last 10 years to put that ground back the same way it was is just amazing. It's just like with farming, there's been so many technologies that have come along to make it better. And I get that because, you're going across a part of the family when you go across that land, and you're going into a family when you go into those communities. And so those things have to be addressed, and we're trying to get those answers out to them.
Joe Heinrich with us. He is with Smart Carbon Network here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Joe, if people want more information, at least from the Smart Carbon Network's perspective here, where can they find that?
Yeah, if you have any questions or concerns, don't be afraid to reach out. We want to be that go-to place for answers that you can trust, smartcarbonnetwork.com.
And finally here, if the ICC denies Navigator or even eventually ADM Wolf, what do you think the negative impacts would be?
Oh, I truly believe this is a point where we're going to have two different outlooks in rural Illinois, rural Iowa, the whole Midwest, because of the opportunities that we would lose out today that because of capturing that carbon off ethanol. And I believe what we're going to be able to see in economic development in the next 10 years. I truly believe it's a defining issue for the Midwest.
We'll be watching it closely. And Joe, I might tap you on the shoulder from time to time to join us to talk more about this in the future, because I imagine there's going to be a lot more to be said on all sides of this.
Yeah, you're welcome to give me a shout out anytime. And if anybody has any questions, by all means, get a hold of Smart Carbon and we'll try to answer the questions to the best of our abilities. So great visiting with you this morning.
Absolutely. Joe Heinrich of Smart Carbon Network here with Springfield's Morning News. Be safe out there, all right?
You too. Have fun at the fair if you go there.
It's Republican Day. After covering Democrat Day yesterday, yeah, I'll be out there for Republican Day as well. Appreciate talking, and we'll chat soon. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and we got plenty more coming up here on WMAY. Right now, it's 8:20 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on signs, banners, and posters from Staples Print and Marketing Services. Save on everything you need for travel, like luggage, tech, and travel-sized personal items. Plus, save on all your school essentials, from notebooks to markers. Now at Staples, you can save even more with $20 back in rewards on your in-store purchase of $50 or more. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. Ends 8/19. Redeemable in-store only. Rewards members only.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on signs, banners, and posters from Staples Print and Marketing Services. Save on everything you need for travel, like luggage, tech, and travel-sized personal items. Plus, save on all your school essentials, from notebooks to markers. Now at Staples, you can save even more with $20 back in rewards on your in-store purchase of $50 or more. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. Ends 8/19. Redeemable in-store only. Rewards members only.
Parents, are you tired of helping put your kids' shoes on? They're squirming, watching cartoons, anything but helping. Luckily, it's Skechers to the rescue. Introducing new hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear you can just get your kids to step into and their shoes are on. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to sit on the floor and try to wrangle them on. And they're available in all types of Skechers styles with and without laces, and most are machine washable. Find Skechers slip-ins for kids or mom and dad at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Your son was 3 when you planted that tree in your backyard. Now he's grown, planting seeds and making memories with his own kids. Let Heartland Bank help you grow more memories with banking options for every stage of your life. Welcome, former Town and Country Bank customers. We're your community bank. Heartland Bank. We build relationships that nurture and grow your dreams. Visit us today at hbtbank.com. Member FDIC.
Join Fighting Illini football for a family reunion in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, September 2nd to open the 2023 season. Bring the whole family and enjoy the family fun in Grange Grove with bounce houses, face painting, live music, tailgating, and more. Get a family 4-pack of tickets for only $49 as the Illini take on Toledo on Saturday, September 2nd. Get your tickets at fightingillini.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, You have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-798-4545. That's 800-798-4545. 800-798-4545.
There are many reasons to buy a Verlo mattress. We've narrowed it down to the 8 great reasons to choose Verlo. Reason number 7, Verlo to go. With Verlo's bed in a box, you can easily take a queen or king mattress, load it into your car, and be on your way. Easy peasy. If you live out of town and prefer to have it shipped, we can do that. The best part, you can try it before you buy it. Quick, convenient, comfortable. For a list of all 8 great reasons and our current sale, Google us or like us on Facebook.
Listen, at Verlo Mattress, saving a lot on a comfortable mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee is easy. Why? Well, because we make our mattresses right at the store. Yeah, we cut out the middleman, and voila, you got it. We pass the savings directly onto you every day. So hurry in today to your local Verlo, where there are no middleman markups. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
A couple of years ago, I saw a report about a study saying that the average age of farmers continues to increase. And the question was, how are we going to attract more young people into agriculture? Well, somebody who's doing just that with the Illinois Farm Bureau joins us right now. Lori Jackson is the coordinator for youth and collegiate programs. Lori, thanks for taking time with us here with Springfield's Morning News. Of course, with the Illinois State Fair going on right now, you've got a lot of focus on agriculture, but it's not just during Fair Week. You guys are doing it all the time. Tell us about it. Good morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, Greg. Happy to be here this morning. So my role here at Illinois Farm Bureau consists of a lot of youth and collegiate programming. So we kind of split that up into 2 pieces. The youth side, we focus a lot on 4-H and FFA programs. And then the collegiate side, we focus on our 11 collegiate chapters here in the state of Illinois. So it really varies on what they're doing in that age range, whether they're in high school or college, and the programs that we put on with them year-round.
So tell me how they get excited about this. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things to take kids' attention. Everything from TikTok to Twitter to YouTube and video games. What do you guys do to get kids more involved in all of this?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that face-to-face interaction through our programming. Like right now, we're focusing on our collegiate kickoff. So we will be at those universities telling them about Farm Bureau, why they should get involved, why they should get excited. And then we'll be there throughout the fall at tailgates. We like to hang out with our students, our Farm Bureau members, get them excited, get at their level, do things that they like to do, like hang out at a football game. So we're there in person as much as we can be. We were at FFA convention doing things at the state fair all summer. And so we've been out there hopefully getting our face recognized here at Farm Bureau.
Lori Jackson with us here. She is a coordinator with the Illinois Farm Bureau focusing on youth and collegiate activities and programs. I imagine, too, there's got to be an opportunity for some of the young kids to see the equipment that's being used on a modern farm. And that itself has to be exciting.
Oh, absolutely. The equipment these days is just bigger and better by the day. We will be at Farm Progress Show at the end of the month here, where you can just find about anything farm related, and we will be there at the Farm Bureau booth.
And everything from drones to GPS guided combines to the biotechnology used in modern agriculture. I mean, Lori, just talk about, it's not just getting on a combine or feeding a hog. There are so many things to agriculture that youth can get excited about.
Absolutely. And I think one of our programs, 4-H, is a big, significant part of that. And they're open to all these different projects that relate back to agriculture. And there's really something for everyone. And so I think really whether it's horticulture, produce, anything that ties back to agriculture, there's something for everyone.
And Lori, also the Master Showmanship Competition. Let's talk a little bit about that and what some of the results are.
Yes, so that was this past Friday, August 11th, at the Illinois State Fair. We hosted that contest at the fairgrounds in the Junior Youth Building, and so we had 59 participants from their county competitions. So they participate at the county level in their master showmanship contest that entails showing sheep, swine, and beef, and then they choose a winner that they send on to the state level. So we had that contest last Friday. We had a top 3. We had Morgan Richardson as our top placement from Kane County. Our reserve champion was Aubrey Kiley from Warren County. And then our third place overall was Preston Rohde from McLean County.
So congratulations to those young farmers, and it really shows how wonderful getting involved early is, and learning how to show but also raise some important parts of our society, because there's no question, without agriculture, we would still be banging rocks on, cave walls. So, Lori Jackson, if people want, if they want to get their kids involved, obviously a lot of farming families, they want to keep their kids involved. But say there's a family that's not involved in farming, how can they possibly get their kids interested in this?
Absolutely. There's always those programs like 4-H and FFA, and then if you have any questions or want to get more involved, there's that Farm Bureau opportunity at the county level. And so those county managers are there to help and direct you in the right path.
Lori Jackson, coordinator with the Illinois Farm Bureau when it comes to youth and collegiate activities. Greatly appreciate your time this morning, and enjoy the rest of the Illinois State Fair.
Thanks, Greg. You too.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. All right. We will finish up the program with Crime Stoppers, Crime of the Week, and also a business spotlight. So that's all on the way here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And don't forget, if you ever miss anything, you can go check out Bishop on Air on Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter. That's where you can see segments of the show, the live stream. And we had some pretty important conversations so far this morning, everything from the latest in gun ban litigation. Tom Devore chatted with him for a bit this morning about what he sees happening with his cases now that they've been dismissed. He's going to ultimately appeal that. But we also had a conversation about what was talked about during the Democrats' Day, Governor's Day at the Illinois State Fair. So you can hear the governor talk about the political messaging heading into 2024. They talked about Trump. They talked about Biden. But also they answered questions about the cloud of corruption over the Democratic Party from the ongoing prosecution of what federal prosecutors called Madigan Enterprise. So we talked about that. We also just had a conversation with Smart Carbon Network. So Joe Heinrich, appreciate him joining us, and you can find that conversation as well on YouTube and posting that to Twitter right now as we speak. So go check that out. But coming back, Crime of the Week and also a business spotlight. It's right here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's 8:32.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Marion County, Kansas prosecutor Joel Enzi said yesterday there was insufficient evidence for police to seize computers and other items from the local newspaper office and from the publisher's home. The staff printed yesterday's edition without their cell phones and computers seized in the raid. The front page of the Marion County Record Wednesday read, "Seized but not silenced." Supporters of independent journalism have flocked to the newspaper's website, and subscriptions have increased by 50%. Anyone wanting to subscribe and support the newspaper can follow a link at WMAY.com. If live jazz and blues is your thing, Rudy Boz and Friends will be appearing at Boone's, 301 West Edwards Street in downtown Springfield. The 4-piece ensemble will play for 2 hours beginning at 5:30 p.m. There's no cover charge, and Boone's offers a family-friendly atmosphere with food and spirits. More information at WMAY.com. A bird in Logan County has tested positive for West Nile virus, which usually spreads through the bite of an infected mosquito. According to the Illinois Department of Public Health, the virus has been detected in 39 counties. The agency reports that so far no human cases have been reported, but over 1,000 batches of mosquitoes have tested positive statewide, along with a dozen birds. Officials warned that there could be other animals infected and in other areas. The Springfield Art Association announces open auditions for the Edwards Place murder mystery showdown at the Edwards Saloon. Sheriff Woody and Rifleman Rosie are set to have a showdown at the Edwards Saloon, but before he can arrive, the sheriff has been murdered. Auditions are Friday and Saturday, beginning at 5:30 on both days. Edwards Place is located at 700 North 4th Street in Springfield. A link to the event can be found at WMAY.com. The Associated Press reports that Illinois will provide funeral and burial services for the migrant toddler who died last week on a bus sent to Chicago by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The child would have turned 4 next week. She became ill aboard the bus in southern Illinois on August 10th and later died at a hospital. A spokesperson for the Illinois Department of Human Services said that the Illinois Welcoming Center, a partially state-funded program, will cover funeral and burial costs. The Springfield Fire Department announced yesterday a grant from FEMA to enhance its firefighting capabilities. The grant is for $460,000 and will fund breathing apparatuses to be used by firefighters entering burning buildings, as well as support infrastructure. Chief Edward Canny said the new equipment will have a significant impact on the department's ability to protect lives and property. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
If you're a registered nurse, here's a message you've never heard. Springfield Supportive Living has a rare opening for someone like you. Would you like to work with assisted living residents with the support of a company that values their employees? Springfield Supportive Living might be your next step. Their employees are paid and treated fairly. That's why this opening is very rare. If this sounds like you, apply online at springfieldsupportiveliving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Some scattered showers this morning, then mostly sunny with a high near 82, low around 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 79, low around 59. Saturday, sunny with a high near 84. Sunday, sunny and hot with a high near 93. And Monday, sunny and hot with a high near 94. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
It can happen so easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go, and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA. It can happen so easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go, and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Do your part today and you could save someone's life with Impact Life. And during Impact Life's Good Giving promotion this summer, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible to receive a $25 gift card or continue the giving and donate your gift to support local teachers. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Learn more at bloodcenter.org.
If you're preparing your kids for school with an old computer, you might get a frantic call in the middle of the night when problems suddenly crop up. At BLH Computers, you can fill the backpack with laptops that carry the exclusive BLH guarantee. BLH Computers has a big supply available with school budget pricing in mind. So send them off to school and quit worrying with laptops, accessories, and upgrades from BLH Computers in Jacksonville, Taylorville, and Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Back with Springfield's Morning News on this Thursday, and what we do at this time every Thursday is we hear about the crime of the week, and joining us to talk about that is Crime Stoppers coordinator Drew Zabados for Sangamon and Menard County to give us the latest crime of the week. Officer, thanks for taking time. What do we got?
Yeah, Greg, thanks for having me. So on August 12th, sometime between 5 and 6 a.m. in the 1600 block of South 16th Street, there was a residential burglary. At the time of this crime, there was a resident of the house who was inside when this was happening. The suspect, who appeared to be a male, caused $500 in damage when they broke a rear window to make entry into the residence. And then once inside, they proceeded to steal TVs and gaming equipment, totaling over $1,300 worth of property. I do have a photo of the suspect. It is in black and white, but it's a pretty good photo. That can be found on our website, cashfortips.us. If you have any information about this or can tell me who that is or have saw anything, please give us a call. Our anonymous tip line is 217-788-8427. You can always use the P3 mobile app or submit a tip on our website, cashfortips.us. And, of course, we do pay up to $2,500 for any information that leads to an arrest. But like I said, I know the picture is black and white, but it's clear enough somebody has to know who that is.
Tell us how important this type of evidence is in not just the detective's work, but also for those who may see this and it triggers in them. I think I know that person.
Yeah. A lot of times, sometimes, we're human. We get stuck on stuff and we need a little help too, just like everybody else. So anytime we get a picture or a vehicle or something, I posted a picture a couple weeks ago. A vehicle had a unique sticker on the rear window. If you know anything or that even remotely looks like somebody, even if it's not, just because somebody gives a name doesn't mean we go out and arrest that person immediately. But that could be the lead that we can look at an old photo of somebody or something and match something up. So any information that you have, even if it ends up being not the right information, we will take it because that can give us a lead and help us along in our case. And even in some cases, remove somebody from being a possible suspect.
We're talking with Drew Zabados. He is the coordinator for Crime Stoppers, Sangamon and Menard County, about the crime of the week and really just the importance of this type of evidence. And you got a picture from inside the house of this break-in, and talk about I guess how people can keep themselves secure with this type of evidence if necessary. But also you got Ring cameras. You've got some cameras that are set up in various locations throughout the city that are on public places. How crucial is that type of technology in helping detectives?
Yeah, that helps us quite a bit, actually. Anybody saw the press release from the Springfield Police Department, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about the bank robbery. They were able to use the flock cameras, which are license plate readers, and they were able to track down the bank robbery suspect. But yeah, anybody that has Ring cameras or anything, if you have something, even if the crime doesn't pertain to you, if you would allow us to look at it, we would appreciate that. I know the Springfield Police Department has it. You can set up through a registry, letting us know that you have cameras. So like I say, even if you're not a victim of a crime, there's a chance that your Ring or security cameras or anything could have caught anything. We would gladly look at that, because every little thing is important and can help us along in an investigation.
Again, catch a criminal, get a reward. Sangamon and Menard County Crime Stopper. You can call them at 788-8427, 788-8427. That's area code 217. Get more details about this week's Crime of the Week at cash4tips.us. And I know we talk about it regularly, Drew, but it's important to reiterate the importance of anonymity in all of this and how you guys go through some painstaking things to ensure that you don't know the identity of that tipster.
Absolutely. And, Crime Stoppers, that's our whole motto is anonymity and protecting you so that you can feel safe coming forward. When my tip line rings, I look at the caller ID. It says private. I've got no way of getting past that to see who's calling. And when you submit a web tip through P3 or Cash for Tips, the technology that we use scrubs your IP address. So I've got no way of knowing anybody or who they are. And then once you give a tip to us, you get assigned a tip number. That tip number becomes your identity. When you call us back to see if your tip led to an arrest or follow up, the only reason we know that we're talking to the same person is because of the assorted numbers and letters that you were given as a tip ID. Even when you go to collect your reward, you provide that tip ID, and that's how we know that we're giving the reward to the right person. You never get asked for your name, address, phone number, email, anything. The only thing we will ask you is, what did you see? How do you know this?
So make it happen. Get the word out. Cash4tips.us, cash4tips.us. Crime Stoppers Coordinator, Officer Drew Zabados. Thank you so much for taking time, and be safe out there, all right?
Thank you, Greg. Take care.
You too. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. We've got a business spotlight next with Synergy Home Care. But first, let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast. Some overcast skies out there right now. Possibility of some showers, but then sunny skies. The high up to 83 today. Tonight, clear into Friday. We'll see a high of only around 79 with sunny skies. Saturday, sunshine, 84 the high. And Sunday, it's warming up to a high of 93, and then by Monday it's going to be hot. The high of 96. So it looks like the rest of the Illinois State Fair absolutely gorgeous, and then heating right back on up right after the State Fair's over. So get out there and enjoy the Illinois State Fair. Right now it's 8:47 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
Here's what's happening right now at Green Certified West.
Not another goat dropping. Hey guys, another goat dropping.
A what?
The goats. They keep dropping the prices on all these quality pre-owned vehicles. I wasn't what I was expecting.
The goats are just doing what they do best, giving the Green Certified West customers their very best deals and amazing customer service.
These prices are too low. We have a business to run. Hey, you, goat, not another dropping on my lot.
Come see the Goat Squad at Green Certified West for your very best deal.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Another day on the paintball field? No way we're cleaning those clothes up. But we can clean your office, your school, your church, or other amazing workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com. Another gutter ball? No way we can clean up that score. But we can clean your office, your school, your church, or other awesome workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
There are many reasons to buy a Verlo mattress. We've narrowed it down to the 8 great reasons to choose Verlo. Reason number 6, we build a double-sided mattress. For those that don't intend to flip their mattress or don't want to spend a bit extra to get a flippable mattress, single-sided mattresses are a good fit, and we have plenty to choose from. However, if you prefer to have a mattress that is flippable so you have a fresh side to use, we give you that option. For a list of all 8 great reasons and our current sale, Google us or like us on Facebook.
Listen, at Verlo Mattress, saving a lot on a comfortable mattress with a lifetime comfort guarantee is easy. Why? Well, because we make our mattresses right at the store. Yeah, we cut out the middleman, and voila, you got it. We pass the savings directly on to you every day. So hurry in today to your local Verlo, where there are no middleman markups. Wake up, sleep better, and save at Verlo.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale, August 18th through the 21st, and get 40% off paints and stains with prices starting at $26.69. That means 40% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 40% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
It is the Business Spotlight with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, and Synergy Home Care is in our spotlight. Taylor Stevens is the Regional Community Liaison, and she joins us now to talk about something that Synergy Home Care is doing for the veterans. Of course, Taylor, you and your crew with Synergy take wonderful care of so many different people, but talk about the focus on veterans.
Absolutely. So Synergy Home Care cares for all ages, which I love. But what I really love is that we work with the VA now. And that's our big push this year, is helping veterans get that care that they deserve. They sacrifice their life, their body, everything for us. So now it's our time to give back.
And this is something I think we hear a lot of when it comes to care for veterans. There's a lot of hoops and things to jump through, and sometimes veterans may just push that to the side and not get the care they need. You guys can step up and help in a lot of those circumstances.
Yeah. I come from a military family, and so I've seen firsthand how sometimes through the VA process, things can be a little bit tedious. They can be long. It can be a lot of paperwork. And so we can come in and we can help guide them through that process. And honestly, a lot of veterans that don't have home care services really just don't know that they could benefit from this, and they can get services paid for. So that's what we have, our wonderful 24-hour team there to help guide them through that process.
So if you know a veteran, if you've got a veteran as a loved one, definitely keep in mind the work that Synergy Home Care can do for your loved one. Taylor Stevens with us right now, talking about all ages as well.
Absolutely. We've had cases where, mom went in to give birth and she had a stroke during that time. And so she needed help with the baby. So they hired Synergy to come in and help take care of mom, and grandma took care of baby, or vice versa. We've had teens who have an athletic injury, but mom and dad still have to go to work. So they bring us in there. We have some with disabilities, surgery recovery, seniors, all the way up to that end of life care. So a lot of people think home care and they think seniors, and that's not the case. We're here for a solution for everybody.
Taylor Stevens is the Regional Community Liaison for Synergy Home Care here with the Business Spotlight on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Taylor Stevens, Client Care Manager for Synergy Home Care. We are here for a solution and not a sale. We have a lot of clients that are just companionship, but then we have a lot that we walk through that end-of-life journey. I'm going to call her Sally. Sally was in a rehab. She just wanted to go home because at home she had her husband who she had been married to for 67 years. We got paperwork all done, and I brought it back to the team, and they were able to turn it around within 24 hours to get it staffed. And this was one of those stories that really just highlights what we do, but also gives you a different perspective on life. We met her at the house, and the moment that they pulled down that door and they rolled her out on that hospital bed, and everybody that was there waiting for her was cheering, it was just this moment like, this is what we do. Her husband came up behind her and grabbed her little hand and was like, "Hi, honey, you're home."
Synergy Home Care, care for everyone.
And we're back with the Business Spotlight. Synergy Home Care in the Spotlight with 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Taylor Stevens is the Regional Community Liaison, and we were just talking about the important care that you guys can provide for veterans. If someone's hearing out there right now about this service, how can they get a hold of you and go through the process of getting your client care specialists there?
Yeah, so it's super simple. We have a 24-hour line. These are all members of management and can troubleshoot at any point. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, but we understand that emergencies happen not just during business hours. So we have that on-call team that's there. All you have to do is give us a call at 217-303-8555 and let us know what's going on, and we can help guide you through that process. Or if you're not ready to make that phone call and you want to dig a little deeper, you can look online at synergyhomecare.com. You can go through there, see the services that we do provide. You can read a bio of everybody in our office and higher up, just so you get a better idea of who you're talking to on the phone, who you're dealing with, and where that leadership comes from.
And that really is an important aspect when you're thinking of welcoming somebody into your home. Something that Synergy Home Care does, being able to see the face of the name that you're talking to on the phone, or to see the face and read the bio of whoever might be coming to your home, really does provide that peace of mind that they're getting quality home care.
Absolutely.
Taylor, again, give us the details on Synergy Home Care and how people can get more information.
Yeah, Synergy Home Care. We provide caregivers to go in the home and help people of all ages stay safe and independent by providing non-medical services. And you can reach us on our 24-hour line at 217-303-8555 or look us up online at synergyhomecare.com.
Taylor Stevens, the Regional Community Liaison for Synergy Home Care in the Business Spotlight with 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Taylor, thanks so much. Let's wrap up the program and do that with, a poll that's just been released, and that is from a group that the company I work for, the Center Square, teamed up with Noble Polling, and it deals with, a whole bunch of things. But the first outcome of the poll shows that Trump and DeSantis both virtually are in a tie with President Biden in a potential face-off. This is, of course, the Center Square's Voice poll conducted in conjunction with Noble Predictive Insights found that the face-off between Trump, 41%, compared to Biden's 44%, 44%, while 15 remain unsure. This is after a poll of around 2,400 people or so, much greater than the typical 1,000 people that are polled. So you can see some of the poll outcome and the results, almost a dead heat, regardless if you look at Biden against Trump or Biden against DeSantis. So a lot of data will definitely be plucking out of here, with Donald Trump leading the Republican field quite a bit, 53% to DeSantis' 18%, and about 7% for Mike Pence and 6% for Vivek Ramaswamy. So again, a lot of unknowns as we head into next year's 2024 election. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. We'll be back tomorrow. And of course, we'll review a lot of what the Republicans had to say at Republican Day on the Illinois State Fairgrounds. It's 9 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studio.